Hi, my name is Jennifer Hanni, and this is my digital portfolio for my practicum experience for the fall of 2011. I have several slides in my presentation documenting the activities that I did that all link to this conceptual framework goals, and they are listed here. I've been teaching for 7 years, and I'm hoping with this degree I can kind of move out of the classroom and into a role that is more helping teachers and kind of expanding the thought of education and pushing into the 21st century. My philosophy on educational leadership, I believe, especially in this day and age, leaders need to be visionary and help inspire others, and in that inspiration, hopefully be collaborating with others to think outside the box and come up with new and innovative ways of teaching students and helping them reach their full potential. My objective during this practicum experience was to focus on the communication side of leadership, communication and collaboration with staff members, with students, with parents, with the community, just pulling everyone together and getting everyone working towards the same goal. So with that in mind, we'll begin with our activities. My first activity took place last spring, and I created a video that promoted the building I work at, the Seaman Freshman Center for the district. The district was then able to use that in promotional purposes. I used research-based strategies to help show how our school was successful. Here's a little clip from the video.
I'm glad that here in the Freshman Center they're more largely focused on 21st century skills and incorporating 21st century technology.
So I made this video and I interviewed students and showed off how we as a freshman center are successful through technology and teaming and things such as that. So really communicating our good aspects. My second activity I completed was McCrell leadership training, which was probably one of the most beneficial activities throughout the experience. It was several sessions where I worked with current administrators, both from our district and other districts, in developing our leadership styles and talking about what's important in leadership and education, and just focused on really making our schools the best that they could be. Very, very valuable in learning what leaders do and how they can be the most successful. Third, I presented at the MACE conference in Manhattan, and a coworker and I showed the importance of using social networking in the classroom to help expand students' engagement and working with the content area. And I was really able to communicate my philosophy on education as well as things that I do in my own classroom to help students be successful. During March, I was on the interview panel for an English teacher at our building, and we interviewed 6 candidates, and it was very interesting to see and look for what I thought was the most desirable traits in a candidate. I really enjoyed the experience of being on that side of the table as opposed to being interviewed myself. For my fifth activity, I completed a grant application and then documented how we were using that grant. I applied for a Fuel Up to Play 60 grant that incorporated physical activity into the classroom, and then I documented that with a video showing how we used our Wiis that we had purchased in the classroom to help students feel engaged with the content and just be up and moving during the regular school day. Here's a clip from this. So as you can see, I created the video showing what we did and sent it to document our experience. Sixth activity was the second opportunity for me to teach at our summer IT academy. This summer, I taught a class on using Moodle in the classroom, which is a collaboration website that students can post blogs and assignments and many other activities on. I taught secondary teachers how to create one of these and use them in their classroom. The previous summer, I had taught a class on using interactive whiteboards in the classroom. I really like working with teachers in our district and showing them things that I have done that have been successful, as well as getting experience of what they've done in their own classrooms that I can use in mine. So really collaboration is very important in this kind of an academy course. Seventh was my first experience dealing with parents collaboratively, and it was for an IEP meeting for a student with Asperger's syndrome. I had several of these meetings, including goal setting and behavior strategies and things such as that, but really working with parents and special educators and our district people in creating a plan to help this student succeed. My eighth activity, a little bit less about collaboration and communication, but a role for a building leader nonetheless. It was a supervision role where I supervised the bus routes and the pep rally for that day. Not probably my favorite activity out of the 25, but definitely something that I need more experience with, just being in a role of authority in many different situations. For my ninth activity was collaborating and creating a Fall into Fitness 5K running event. I worked on the planning committee and I created the website and the logo and many of the other aspects of this race for our district, and really worked with superintendents and community members and other staff members of the building to create an event that earned money for a staff member that has cancer. The 10th was completing the school newsletter, which I've done the entire time I've worked at the Freshman Center. The principal gives me what she wants to put in it, and then I create the document and in a way that is pleasing and eye-catching to the audience, which is parents and students. I try to highlight events using photos and captions that really get to the point and show off what we're doing well and highlight things that are going to be coming up in the future. The 11th activity is the wellness website that I am in charge of maintaining and creating. This website includes many different pieces of information for staff, students, parents, anyone involved in the district or even outside. We have a staff wellness challenge, we have a 4x4 program, we have a resources page for teachers and parents. I created this entire website from start to finish and then maintain it each month as well. So very focused on communicating with people in the district and encouraging them to have the same vision as regards to wellness. 12th activity was a literacy conference that I attended with other people throughout the state, really focusing on including Common Core standards into the curriculum and working together to share our experiences. 13th was map test administrator. I worked with the tech people of our district as well as other teachers and the principal to coordinate the map testing in my classroom, and so I set things up and helped carry out the map testing for that period. 14th, I got to experience communicating with students and parents and watched our principal as she dealt with a disciplinary referral where a student was in trouble, and watched how she had the student call the parents to explain the consequences, which was an interesting experience. 15th was I observed a teacher in action and took notes of what was going on in her classroom and shared with her things that she did well and things that we could improve upon, which is another aspect of communication that's going to be vital as a building leader. For my 16th, I attended a 504 meeting with parents and students and teachers and working with the student to help create the best possible scenario for him. The 17th was another supervisory role where I was a homecoming parade monitor. I helped coordinate and make sure everyone was in the right location for this big district event. For the 18th was another promotional activity where I submitted a nomination for the Magna Award for our building for our district. And this one, instead of creating a video, was a written application where I highlighted things that our building has done well to promote students from the middle school into the high school experience. For my 19th activity, as my first dealing with the elementary levels, where I attended the site council and PTO meetings for an elementary school and really learned how to collaborate with parents and organizations that truly are vital in helping schools be successful. My 20th was helping the Elmont Elementary School with their newsletter. They had been using Word, and I introduced them to using InDesign instead and created a template for them that they could simply plug in their information each month and help streamline the process of communicating with parents. For my 21st, I attended our district's elementary principals meeting, probably the most beneficial activity throughout my entire practicum experience. I learned about the MTSS project process and just how involved elementary principals are in the curriculums of their building. For my 22nd activity, I went back to Elmont and showed them how to use InDesign. So I created a little cheat sheet packet for them and showed them the little tips and tricks on using the program to create their newsletter. I attended an MTSS in-service as a district member for my 23rd and really learned how to incorporate that into my own teaching and create a building-wide program. My 24th, I observed DIBELS testing at the elementary school level. Fascinating experience. I learned how the reading specialist works with students, and here's a little audio clip of that.
Good job. Listen to this word.
So to protect privacy, I just videotaped the board, but you can hear the audio in the background. Fascinating information. And then I combined that activity with the MTSS activity and created what I hope to be the most important part of my practicum, which was a program to provide reading intervention to my Tier 2 and Tier 3 students. So I went through and collected data on students with low reading scores, and this spring semester I hope to implement a reading intervention program within my seminar class, and this will become a pilot that hopefully we'll be able to use for the entire freshman center next year. So of my activities, before I went into this, I didn't think that I was interested in elementary level at all and really thought this was going to be a pretty simple process. But as we went through it, I realized that I may be much more interested in the elementary level than I had first anticipated. I learned that they really do a lot with curriculum, and that curriculum really is my passion throughout this entire process. And so I'm hoping through the analysis and then the synthesis reflection of this experience that I'm going to be able to use my passion for curriculum and 21st century skills and MTSS in helping all students succeed, whether that's at the elementary or the secondary level. Of course, a building principle relates to all of the conceptual framework goals, including assessment, technology, as well as diversity, and I really saw how that was a part of things throughout my entire experience. I do have a 10 source annotated bibliography where some of the information I used beforehand and some I found to help me afterwards, but just information that I used throughout the different activities of my practicum experience. So overall, I really learned a lot. I really learned that my passion for curriculum is something that I want to continue to explore and hope to continue my educational roles in helping people communicate and collaborate and really push our schools into the 21st century and help our students be prepared for life in a very global world. Thank you.